here somewhere. All right, we're going to start the show, everybody.
You're watching PTZOptics Live, a 1080p broadcast available exclusively on YouTube Live every Friday, streaming at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Broadcast quality made affordable. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to PTZOptics Live. My name's Tess Protesto. We are live from YouTube every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. So pulling up some of the housekeeping items for today to start off the show. Go ahead and give this video a like on Facebook. We donate $1 up to $250 for every like this video gets to the Susquehanna Valley CASA, who help children to get adopted. Moving on to our schedule. Last week, if you were there, you saw my very first solo show while Paul was on vacay. So much fun, so crazy, learned so much. This week we were supposed to have Bird Dog here to talk about NDI. They canceled on us, but that's okay because we came up with a fantastic show today with two amazing guests who we're going to get to in just a moment. Next week, the next 2 weeks are going to be all about NAB. Next Friday is the behind the scenes from NAB, and the whole week after that, we'll be streaming live from NAB every day. Alrighty, so one more thing, make sure that you go ahead to our Facebook user group and ask to join. That's where you can get the most up-to-date and latest information about live streaming and PTZ Optics. So I have two fantastic ladies here with me today, Liz Davis from JB&A Distribution and Natalie Wright from Student Council and live streaming setup for churches. How are you guys doing today? How are you ladies doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm really excited to have you guys here. You might be wondering out there why I'm sitting at the main table. That's because today is all about women in the industry. So we thought that I would take the reins a little bit, but we still do have my trusty sidekick for the day who's going to give us a social media update. Over to you, Mr. Paul Richards.
Hi, everybody. I am here, and thank you so much for taking the reins, Tess. I'm really excited about today's show. But first, let's start off with a little love for our YouTube subscribers. We want to thank John Burrows, Rocky Cradle, Dudas97, Carlos Riviera, Gage Southward. This one is Hans Molando, Mick Vember.
It's hard, isn't it?
Devin John. It's hard. I don't know how you do this every week. Vote for Cake. And I don't know who you are, Vote for Cake, but you got my vote.
Devin Johns and Rudy Carmen. All right, moving on to our
NAB show. One of the things we found out is that so many of I love the NAB show. And Liz, I know you've been there many times. I can't wait to talk to you about the show. So many of our viewers, customers, partners are all going to be there. But what we found out is not everybody can go. So we want to take you with us behind the scenes. And it's all going to start next Friday, the Friday before the show, where Tess is going to be here in the host seat, live streaming from our office here in Philadelphia. Woo-hoo. And video conferencing with me behind the scenes at our booth when we're setting it all up, and going to the JB&A NAB pre-show, which Liz is going to tell us all about. So between April 24th and April 27th, we're going to be live streaming at our normal time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, every day during the show. And what our goal is, I bought this brand new DJI Osmo where I can put my phone in here and
so cool.
Go around and take cool footage and stuff. And we want to go to all the booths that you can't make it to because you can't go to NAB this year. If you're going, tell us anyway, come meet with us. But if you can't make it, we'll be your ambassador. We'll go out and we'll figure out what the cool new products are. We'll bring them back, record them, and show them on our show. Not only that, but we're going to be doing giveaways. It's called Joy to the World, a free joystick every single day of NAB, except for the last day where we're going to give away a Magewell frame grabber. These are awesome. Everyone wants one of these. An HDMI to USB, or your choice of SDI to USB. So we're super excited about that. Let's show a couple pictures of our booth. You got to stop by our booth if you're coming to NAB. Over 25 live streaming cameras. We're going to have the NewTek NDI connecting a NewTek TriCaster with our vMix live streaming studio. We're going to have the brand new Wirecast gear. We're going to have our new auto tracking camera, the new PTZ producer kits. Everything that's new from our company is going to be at our booth. You got to stop by and check it out. And we want to do a little throwback Thursday. So Tess had her first live show ever. And this right here is my first live show ever. And I wanted to just show this really quickly. Tess, let's show some of the comments that you got from your show. Everyone was so supportive.
Nice.
It looks like Giles said, magnificently done. Michaels Burgos said, she needs a little more practice, but I believe 100%. She can do it. Dave Edwards said, Tess did a great job. She's a natural on camera, appears to really dig the tech. And I'm not going to be able to read all of these, but there were so many great comments and replies. Let's go ahead and show your first show next to my first show.
Here, let's pause mine first so we can put
yours.
The audio on
All right, guys,
and
I'm just going to prepare you. This show was horrible. This is our first live show ever 2 years ago. Go ahead, take it full screen.
Okay. Wait.
Just hit the four button.
I shouldn't have done that, huh?
So you can, the audio, hit the audio button. Yeah, so it's that bad. You can barely even hear what I'm saying. And then, Tess, let's take your show full screen. That was Halloween, by the way, so you know. And then here's Tess's first live show.
With my buddy.
And as you can see, Tess did a little mix-up at the beginning here, which I thought was funny. And Tom Sinclair was there to help out. And everything worked out great. So... And even in the chat room right now, everyone's saying, one of the things, and then Tess did a behind the scenes, which did work out really well. There's our green screen. That's where Tess is sitting right now. She's in the hot seat.
In Paul's seat.
So that is pretty much what we wanted to do for our Throwback Thursday. And I'm really excited about this show. Tess is going to take away the show from here and take the wonderful ladies from the live streaming industry into the lightning round.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Let me switch back
and
over here,
we'll be getting back soon.
Yay, there we are. I have my special guest with me today. Are you guys ready for the lightning round?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get this started then. We'll play this. All right, coffee or tea?
Tea. Cortado.
Ooh, there you go. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Wow, that's interesting. Your favorite book?
Treasure in the Rye.
Ooh, you guys did it at the exact same time. I heard Treasure Island.
Catcher in the Rye.
Stranger in
Sorry.
I should, you know what? Let me address you guys name by name. Okay, Natalie, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye. And Liz, what is your favorite book?
Stranger in a Strange Land.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Apple or Android? We'll just go Natalie first and then switch to Liz.
iPhone, for sure.
Yeah, iPhone.
Same with me. All right, your favorite movie? It's a hard one.
I really love Adam Sandler. I have to say, this really corny movie, Just Go With It, is my favorite movie.
That's so
it's
funny.
a guilty pleasure.
I don't think I've seen that one. How about you, Liz?
This is also really hard because I'm a huge sci-fi fan, but I also love great writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say maybe it's a toss-up between Vicky Cristina Barcelona and then The Fountain, which is Aronofsky's first movie.
Wow. So here's the tough one. If you could go back to any moment in time in history, when would you choose?
That's a really hard question.
Mm-hmm. No matter how much time you have to think about it, I feel like it's still hard.
I'm just going to have to say MLK, I Have a Dream speech. I'd love to be there. Check that out.
That's a good answer. That's one of those we were talking about being a fly on the wall. That one's good.
Yeah. I guess I'd say maybe the 20s. I think that was the time when American writers were really taking off, and Fitzgerald and Hemingway. So
Awesome. All right, so let's get into the introduction of you ladies. I want to talk about your place in the industry and sort of where you got involved. Let's start with you, Liz. Tell us about JB&A and where you got into this whole thing.
Yeah, so I've known JB&A for quite some time. I was a customer before I was an employee. And so just a little brief synopsis on JB&A. We are a solution provider for a lot of elements needed for building a broadcast studio. So the new tech TriCaster, ensemble design, everyone's going to be super mad at me if I don't say all their names. So Quantum, SNS, Cat TV, so storage, asset management, all that. But basically, I sort of stumbled into the industry, if you will. I come from the distribution side originally, so I was buying, selling features, TV shows, and then just have a knack, I guess, or a desire to be more on the engineering side. So we started assistant camera operating. This was almost a decade ago. Started assistant camera operating, and then really got on the IT side of things. And this is about the time in our industry where there was a shift really to a live streaming versus a traditional broadcast. This is probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And I thought it was really interesting. So and it was kind of the Wild West during that time. It sort of isn't as much now, where their workflows are being ironed out and a little bit more, as far as like a traditional workflow, it's there, but about 4 years ago, there wasn't. So I started, I was working with Able Cine at the time, an integrator here in New York, and started helping design studios, live stream studios for brands. And it was really cool because brands were finally understanding that video was a platform they needed to adopt in order to expand their brand awareness. But it was also it was also something that, was very foreign to them. And also, you're usually having people in the marketing department in these brands guide video content, and that's not their expertise normally. So it wasn't just about building studios. It was really about teaching brands about building content and what that means and how to execute in a cost-effective way, but also in a consistent way. Because if you're not doing video consistently, then you might as well not be doing it at all.
Yep.
So.
100%. And I think that a lot of the people in our audience will completely relate to what you're saying, especially when you're talking about where the industry was and where we're at now. Natalie, tell us about what you're doing with live streaming and how you ended up here.
So right now, I do live stream production for churches, particularly my church, but it's become so in demand and so lucrative that I've gotten a lot of requests from other churches and other pastors that just want to improve their streaming quality. Churches have been broadcasting for years, but it's been really lucrative to start improving the quality of streams. So just making sure that they're pushing out HD and 4K. They just want to make sure that the people who are viewing services from home are seeing something that's really high quality. So oftentimes churches are a bit behind in their equipment and technology. So I came from a marketing side and from a production side, so I've worked a little bit backwards, getting versed in all the technicalities and all the systems and processes and stuff like that. But I know what... Excuse me?
That's where I'm at right now.
Exactly. But it's like when you have a vision and you know what a good end product looks like, then it's just a matter of educating yourself on how you can make it work. So, and just being able to call on the right sort of experts to help you build something awesome. So that's been where I'm at now. And I started in fashion, which was cool. I was styling for about 5 years and ended up working with a lot of different brands like Nike, and I most recently came out of Crate and Barrel doing a production for them for their catalogs. And then for a bit over a year, I did social media content for Beats by Dre's social media accounts. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So cool for me. And that was like kind of thrown into the fire. And I was just like, okay, how do I make content look great and be successful? It's kind of one of those instantaneous things. Like, they post a photo that I shot. Was it good? I can tell immediately. So, and then on the flip side, also, in terms of streaming, kind of on socials, we would do these things called Snapchat takeovers. So I would take over the Beats by Dre Snapchat for an event or something like that. And it's kind of like this in the moment event coverage that we haven't really experienced in the industry thus far. So it's definitely turning and shifting. So just kind of catching that wave.
Nice. You guys are so established. It's like inspiring to me, somebody that's just getting into the industry. That actually leads us to our first key point for today. We wanted to bring up who you ladies see as inspiring to you in this industry, whether it's broadcasting, live streaming, and whatnot. Liz, we can just start with you.
Okay. I would say the two women that I really look up to, which are on very different sides of the industry. One would be Roseanne Limoncelli. She heads up the film and TV production at the NYU Tisch School. She's the director. And I had the great pleasure of meeting her a couple of years ago when I had first moved to New York. And she really just, she empowers women in this industry so much. If you have a short film that you're looking to do, she will do everything in her power to get a crew together for you. And it's a crew of all women, which is really amazing. And she's just constantly leading the charge. She's not afraid to be cutting edge. And I'm sure she's been told to know a lot in her life, but you wouldn't know that. And so she's really great. I think on the flip side, coming more from a social and digital perspective, would be Beth Comstock, who's the VP of GE. I want to say she's the VP, but she might actually be the CEO now. I got to check on that. But she's really great. I mean, she's kind of been full circle. She was at NBC for forever, and then GE bought out NBC, and then she was at GE, and then back at NBC, and back at GE again. And when it comes to creating content and targeting an audience, I feel like Beth is like the antithesis of that. So so I'd say those two.
Nice. Natalie, how about you?
So I'm ill prepared for this question in terms of, let me think. I have a lot of respect for Shaka Pilgrim. She's the president and CEO of Rock Nation. I think being in music and marketing is so visual. It's so video oriented. So just making sure that the artists that you're bringing up are putting out amazing content. Like it's a huge role to just make sure that music video content that comes out from artists is really reflective of them and is just really great quality. Like we, in the 90s, music videos had like $3 million budgets, and like you could kind of do whatever you wanted to do. And so now with budgets a little bit smaller, you have to be really creative. And so video content has just become very important for an up and coming artist. And also just like anyone who's kind of in the entertainment industry, I'd say. So Shaka's awesome, and she's great. So.
I'm learning a lot already about women I didn't even know were so involved in the industry, and I'm loving it. On to our next point. Did you want me to go to the social media?
Yeah, we're running a little behind.
Paul's telling me that we have to rush through the. No, I'm kidding. We love to talk, so we're having fun here. So what we wanted to talk about, another point, was social media and live streaming. Do you guys have any tips, or how do you market your streams? Get people to, see them.
Yeah, I would say, what I try to tell people is whenever when we're talking about video content on digital at all, is the chance of a video going viral is like maybe once a year. Maybe once a year, a dad took a video of his dog and like it was really cool and it went viral. That is like such a slim chance. What you think is viral is actually paid media. And so I think that for the most part, in order to get your video content seen, whether it be a live stream or whether it just be a daily channel that you're trying to produce, it's researching, the proper blogs for syndication that already have a following, have an outlet in order to gain followers for your channel. It's also doing it consistently. It's also understanding that you should have verticals to your brand. So you shouldn't just have like one type of video. If video content is going to be part of your brand marketing, then you should have several different types that are leading back to a singular purpose. So I think it's really making yourself knowledgeable, because you could spend a lot of time and a lot of resources with no outcome, no result. There's, I think right now the 2017 census that just came out is like 72% of the internet in 2017 will be video. That's a lot of video that we're inundated with. So you've got to cut through that clutter. And the only way to do that is by properly syndicating and making sure that you're utilizing other resources for your outlets. So,
yeah. Anything else on that, Natalie? I know you have a great social media following as well.
I would definitely say, to your point, Liz, that it's really important to have multiple different avenues in video. Like, I think that's really important in terms of programming, having different types of video content that you're putting out. I will say that strategic community engagement is important. Building relationships, like you guys are awesome with engaging with your following and the people who are viewing. That's so important, because that's how you build engagement, is just like by actually speaking and talking with people that are really supporting you. And then I'd say that just like finding a niche, you just really have to find your niche, whatever associates with your brand, and just become really enthralled and engaged with leaders in that community, and just kind of build relationships for sure.
Absolutely. I know that you are both involved in, well, I know Natalie sets up live streams, and Liz is also involved in building studios. So do you guys have any tips or tricks with designing a studio set or live stream setups? Is that difficult for you guys? I mean, how does that play into your business?
For me, I'm dealing with churches, and for example, the church that I attend, we are more traditional, so people aren't really used to seeing cameramen, DPs on the floor. They don't want to see that, you know? So the challenge is, how can I put out awesome content? How can I capture this event in its essence without the people who are there having a lesser experience or are distracted or something like that? So that's why I think you guys' brand is awesome, because I can, rig cameras and nobody has to be bothered by someone kind of coming by and bugging them. So I have to be very conscientious of our in-house worship experience, and then also giving the people at home the same sort of experience without any sort of sacrifice on either end.
Mm-hmm. How about for you, Liz? In the distribution area.
Yeah, I think, I've been designing studios for brands for probably almost 3 years now. And I think the key is always to understand what they intend to get out of it. Where does video fit within their brand? And I think that, even though that's really talking about the creative side, that helps in the designing process, because at that point you understand what tools they need to make this to make it easier. But also how to grow them for future, what their growth potential looks like, what their trajectory looks like. Just because if you are, designing for an agency and maybe they have 3 major Fortune 500 accounts, but video really takes off for them, and then within a year they've got 10 others, then you're talking, well, we should probably put in a lot more storage. We should probably have some sort of asset management in order to monetize your content. Right. Because if I have a quicker way to get back to any sort of piece of content that I've already created, then I can reuse it. And I can go back to a brand that I cut together a teaser for and say, oh, by the way, I can recut that teaser for 15 or 30-second social cuts. Do you want me to go ahead and do that? Well, you're not even reshooting anything. You're just recutting it, and you have the ability to access it very quickly. So I think that's the key, is teaching brands how to monetize content. And that's really giving them tools to do so. And that's very tech heavy, but they don't need to know that that's not something that they need to take on. That's, as a designer or as a distributor, that's really your role, is to take on that technology for them and just make sure that it's as easy as possible. Right.
I love that we're talking about the importance of branding today, because I think that it's so important, along with the knowledge of technology, to be able to get a good following for yourself. And we have to start the giveaway in a minute. I just want to make sure that our audience is able to get in contact with you and find you guys on social media and LinkedIn. as we go from here. So make sure that you guys follow at Girl Natalie on Instagram. And Natalie, do you have an email that you'd like me to put in the bio or in the chat for people to contact you at?
Yeah, sure. So GIRL.
Oh, wait, I actually have it. Girl Natalie.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, and
then
Liz.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Natalie.
Oh, no, you're all good.
So I'm just showing the countdown here. 10 seconds till our giveaway, but we've got about 4 topics left. So I hate to rush you guys, but can you just try to rush through these last 5 topics?
In 10 seconds?
Well, yeah, look, 2, 1.
Well, we'll do it in the post show, okay?
And then we'll handle it in the post show. I'm just letting people know. So the competition, the giveaway's over. We've got 3 topics left here, and it's live streaming cross platforms.
Oh, so do you want us to do them now, or do you want to do the
go
giveaway
ahead,
now?
finish them up.
Oh, okay. Live streaming cross platforms. This is something that we toss and turn over, whether to stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Where do you guys stand on that? Do you recommend that?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people will say that you're diluting your audience, but at the same time, you have to understand that the generational gap will define the platform that someone is on. So for instance, Facebook's top addition to their following within the last year was 70 plus, because your grandma and your grandpa want to see their children on Facebook. Well, if you're talking then about live streaming for beats, right, you're not going to want to live stream to Facebook. Right. You can, but that's probably not going to be your audience, because Facebook tends to be an older generation crowd. So you're going to want to go to Periscope to go onto Twitter or onto Instagram or onto YouTube and really know where your audience is at. So I definitely think multi-platform live streaming is a necessity.
For sure.
Alrighty, we actually kind of talked about digital strategy. So we wanted to touch on OTT versus linear broadcast with you, Liz. Which is better?
Yeah. So we're actually seeing a really shift in paradigm in the industry right now. Poker Central is actually a great case study where Poker Central had 3 linear channels, and they recently shuttered them to open 5 OTT channels. So I think that we're seeing a lot of shifts like this. Or if you see, for instance, HBO with HBO Now. So I personally don't have a cable, but I have an HBO Now account because I can watch that through my Xbox.
We do that too.
It's my media console. So I think that we're seeing a huge shift right now in the industry. I think it's a lot more cost effective to open an OTT channel versus a linear broadcast. And you're able to target more people because everyone and their mom has a smart TV, right? And that's all you need in order to get an app in there. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah. And Natalie, you have just gotten into the world of streaming from churches. Is this like a passion project for you to start with, turn business, or?
It really is. I mean, I kind of moved away from a lot of the more trendy jobs that I was doing to work with churches, and it's really rewarding. It's really, I love it, and it's cool because I love to work on like projects that are kind of at a base level and like bring it to the next level. And I like to see the transition from like, oh wow, this looks kind of bad. Wow, look how amazing this is.
I bet your customers at the end are just like, how did you do this?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. So, and I'm just excited to continue to do it for more churches beyond where I've been working thus far. So.
Great. And I do have Natalie's Instagram and Gmail in the chat. I want to make sure that Liz, they have an opportunity to get in contact with you if possible. So what's the best way to reach you?
I'd say on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
And I think it's Liz the Biz.
Liz the Biz.
Which everyone at JB&A calls me. So that's my handle now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll the credits. We're about 9 minutes over.
I could talk all day.
There were 2 girls. I get it. Roll the credits. Hold on for the post show. We'll do the giveaway, and we'll just stick around. We got a lot of questions for you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, that is not the give. Sorry, that's not the credits. This is.
Here's the credits.
And that's all, folks. We appreciate your participation in the chat room and can't wait to host our next informative Q&A session. Your questions drive the conversation forward for live streaming professionals around the world. Until next time, happy streaming!